Welcome to Business with Beers, a podcast for business owners who want to scale their business to massively grow their income and contribution by investing in people, process, and technology. I am your host, Brian Beers. This week, we've got an awesome show with Matt Donnelly. He owns a real estate brokerage and property management company. In this episode, Matt shares his story about building out a vertically integrated business in a niche city with the goal of becoming the go-to company for all real estate needs in that market. Matt and I have a great conversation about leveraging your time through virtual assistants. We talk about hiring and training your first virtual assistant, taking care of them so they become a true member of your team for multiple years. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends, rate and comment with your favorite part to help us reach more people. And if you'd like to learn more about the topics covered in this podcast, check out brianbeers.com to sign up for my free weekly newsletter delivering content directly to your inbox. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me on, brother.
All right, great. Well, this wouldn't be Business with Beers if I didn't ask you. We can go have a drink at a bar. What are we drinking?
What time of the year is it?
It's May.
It's May? I'm breaking out from the glass line tanks of Old Latrobe, Rolling Rock.
All right. What if I said October?
October, as the weather starts to turn, I'll probably pull out a Guinness.
Okay. All right. Great. So if you could share your story, who you are, what you do, where you live.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in the Philadelphia suburbs, so about 20 minutes outside of Philly. Born and raised in Philly. I'm about be 40 years old this year. Come from Irish Catholic family, one of 5 kids. Grew up in middle class. Nothing special. Just worked hard. By the time I was in 8th grade, I had my first job. Worked 3 jobs in high school. Freshman year of college, I went to LaSalle University. I started my own landscaping business freshman year. I graduated with a degree in information technology, with a minor in business. I don't know shit about computers, but I got a degree for it. However, I did have about 300 landscaping clients when I graduated. So I had a couple friends that were working for me, and I just continued to run the landscaping business. I graduated in 2004, and then I got my real estate license in 2006. So I was doing real estate, bartending, and landscaping for a few years there. And then I sold the business. I stopped doing bartending and just went full-time, dove into the real estate in 2010. 2010, I joined a real estate team. I worked there for a year, got to learn, what it really kind of takes to do it full time. And obviously 2010 was not an easy market by any means. So got to learn in a tough market, which was great. Then I left the team. I went on my own and I started my own team. And then I actually went full circle. The guy that I worked with in 2010, we combined our 2 teams and we're now 50-50 partners. And then since then, we also bought a property management company that's local. So we're right in Conshohocken, which is, a little square mile radius town, but it's a really great town. A lot of good small business owners. So me and my partner, Mike Soroka, we own the real estate sales team. We own a property management company. And then we try to, we'll buy a couple properties here and there and just renovate them and then just keep them in our portfolio. So our goal is to just keep on adding real estate to our portfolio for the long term. Nothing, no get rich quick scheme. Just, we put in a decent amount of hours. We try to surround ourselves with really talented people within our companies, and we enjoy mentoring them and just doing what it takes to set ourselves up for the long term.
Okay, great. How many single family homes, or what's your portfolio look like now that you're?
So we have 10 properties between the 2 of us. We have some land that we'll probably end up selling to a developer, and we're renovating. We just got done renovating 2 properties, and one we just started renovating on, which are, one is in a beach town. The other is like 2 minutes from our office, and the other is about 10 minutes from our office. And those 2 are single family.
Okay. How do you find those? Is it through listings, or is it anything you're finding them off market?
So most of them are off market. The one we found on market, there was multiple offers. We had a good relationship with the other real estate agent. We let them represent us. Obviously they knew with our with our reputation that we'd be able to close and it would be nice and easy. So we were able to get that one on market, which isn't typical. The other one was off market. We've been doing it. I've been licensed now for, since 2006. My partner's been licensed for over 20 years. So we got a good, kind of core business set up. People know that we also buy property. So we'll get stuff that kind of come to us that way. And sometimes you have sellers that they don't want it to go on market, especially in the past year with COVID. It's, like I want to sell my house, but I don't want all these people coming through my house. So we give them options, and potentially we have investors that buy it, or someone on the team's already working with someone that's looking to buy a house that matches this criteria, or we can put it up on the MLS and let 1,000 people through the house.
Yep, there you go. I guess that's some great value. Then you bring potential sellers, right? As you have all these different avenues that could go depending on what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. So what else do you do that kind of differentiates yourself? Let's start first, talk about the real estate brokerage business. Why would someone choose you guys?
Yeah, so for us, it's again, a lot of it is more relationships and reputation. It's tough being a relatively newer agent in real estate. So we already kind of been through all that. So we have a track record, and we do a lot of marketing. We put a lot of stuff out on social media, and a lot of it's just kind of word of mouth that, Mike, Matt, the Home Experts for You team do a really good job on representing your best interest. And we try to make it fun. Once you're a client for life, or at least that's the goal. So we do client appreciation parties. We do local charity events, anything that we can kind of do to also help give back and maintain relationships. Because for me, that's what I enjoy about it. A lot of times the real estate aspect of it can suck if you're dealing with somebody who sucks. So I try not to deal with people who suck. It's
good. Good to live by. Yeah. People want to buy and work with people they like, right? So the more you can be likable, good for both sides, right?
Go find somebody else to work with. That's okay with me. No worries.
Yep. So why did you choose to get into property management business? Because that's no easy business.
That is correct. It is not an easy business, and it really doesn't make any money unless you really kind of scale it, which is not our goal. The reason that we got into property management was we had a really good relationship with a guy who had a local property management group. It was, he had it for 30, 40 years, his family, and he did commercial stuff. So, he kind of helped him market his stuff. And then unfortunately he passed away from a heart attack, but he wanted us to kind of buy the business. So we bought it from the estate. A lot of it was old school stuff, handshake deal. So we had to take it and actually turn it into a real business, which, took a little bit of time. But the reason that we did it, knowing that it would, not really turn a profit for a while, was opportunities that it provides. We're looking to, buy stuff and put it in our portfolio. So we know we would get more opportunities from having a property management portfolio. For the real estate sales team, we're always trying to provide opportunities for our agents to do more business. So by representing, tenants, they're going to end up becoming buyers. So our goal is to develop a relationship with those tenants that they hopefully use someone on our real estate sales team when they're ready to buy. And then when the landlords want to sell, that, we would get first opportunity, or we'd be able to represent them if they want to take it to market. Along those lines. And obviously with, a portion of our portfolio is we have, some commercial stuff that's local. So, the goal is hopefully if one day when those guys want to sell that, we would get that opportunity to purchase that. So everything we do is really kind of like long-term, and just put ourselves in a position that provides us with opportunities that we can say yes or no to.
Yeah, that's a great model, and trying to be as vertically integrated as you can. It sounds like from not only the brokerage, but then obviously you would be a buyer, and then you could potentially manage if it's going to be a rental. Like you said, you feed clients that are tenants currently, or potentially then list it when that property, that investor is ready to sell.
Yeah, we don't want to pigeonhole and just say, well, we only do this. Like, here's your different options, which a lot of typical real estate agents aren't able to provide. So that's one of the things that definitely differentiates us.
So the property management company, how big is it? Like how many doors do you manage?
So I want to say there's 150 doors, a third residential, a third multifamily, a third commercial space.
Okay. All in the Conshohocken area, or is it all
pretty
Philly?
Much for the most part. So I would say, most of it's in Conshohocken. Some of it, the school district that we're in is Colonial School District. So in there, and then a little bit into the city, but we prefer just to kind of keep super hyper local.
Yeah, it seems better, because then if you have a potential tenant that comes to you and they want a certain spot and you can't put them there, you got something down the street that might work.
Yeah, and again, our goal isn't necessarily to kind of scale into this big property management company. We want to make it so it's manageable for us, obviously, so it's profitable, and more so that the people that kind of work within our property management group, that it scales enough so that they can keep making more money and have an ownership aspect into the business.
Do you have maintenance in house for that?
Kinda. We have 2 or 3 different people that we use. For the most part, they're independent contractors that do their own thing, but they service the majority of our stuff.
But they're pretty responsive.
Yeah, they put us kind of top to the list, which, as you know, in today's day and age, it's really tough. There's a ton of work out there for contractors. So, a lot of people, they'll leave messages and you just don't get called back because they don't have the time to deal with it.
So if someone was looking to hire a property management company, what do you think are the things that what kind of questions should they be asking them to determine, are they going to take care of this property? Are they going to be responsive? Especially when it comes to maintenance. I think maintenance is the big key. Because if they have a request and then it takes them 2 or 3 weeks to get to it, it could cause further damage or frustrate the tenants who then could look to leave, right? So
I think so. If you're hiring someone for property management, one of the main concerns I would have is, if I'm hiring a property manager, is this is an asset of mine. I need to make sure it's protected. I don't want to deal with phone calls from the tenants, or when there are maintenance issues. I want to know about them, but I want them to be taken care of right away. And I'm okay with you taking care of any maintenance issue up to X amount. Let's say it's $500, right? So I want it taken care of right away. If you're a property management company, that's kind of your job. You got to protect that asset. So when there's an issue, you got to be very responsive. And I would say, the person that we had in place that was our property manager wasn't, then we would have to find a new one.
Okay. All right. Your website mentioned using innovative technologies. Can you expand anything on that, of ways you guys use technology to run your business?
For property management?
Or the real estate brokerage business, either one.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, with any business, technology is so important these days. And it's tough to create a system, especially kind of a customized system. Every real estate agent is an independent broker, and they run their own business, right? Whether they think they're a business owner or not, they are. And then every team kind of runs their business a little bit differently. And the majority, they don't run it like a business. And it's not because they don't mean to, they just don't know how to, because they haven't been through the process yet of trying to run it like a business. So, we have some really good systems that it took us a while to get to. No one all of a sudden just knows how to do it correctly the first time. Yep. So our systems are custom to our team. We paid a independent contractor, third party, who's really good at doing that. There was a lot of deep dives going into how our business operates and how it can be custom and specific to how we do things. So we spent a lot of money, time, energy, and effort creating those systems for the real estate sales team. And then for the property management, there's specific software that you would want to do property management at a high level, with kind of having an owner's portal, and when there are issues, so that the tenant can put those issues somewhere, the owners can see what they are. Obviously, doing the accounting is very big for the clients. So we just paid the money necessary to have the right system there.
Okay, so you got your own thing developed for the brokerage business, and then third party, portfolio management companies.
Yeah, so we have a portfolio for property management.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But then we're also kind of integrating our own, what we've done with the real estate sales team, and how that can cross over. We have a system that can integrate where necessary. When, just say you have a tenant that wants to use us to represent them, or property needs to go on the MLS instead of doing it kind of off market through like Appfolio channels.
Got it. Okay, cool. Hey, so one of my questions is, we all face these challenges throughout our lives. Sometimes they lead to failures. Ideally we turn those into learning experiences. Is there any challenge or failure you've kind of had throughout your business career, and kind of what you learned from it?
Yeah, we fail all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I think anyone who says that they're not, they're bullshitting you. So lots of times it's just you're figuring out as you're trying to go forward, you're making your best guess and judgment that this is going to be the right way to do something. You don't know until you go through the process of doing it, whether it was right or wasn't. So I would say, one of the things was we kind of just let anyone on the team for a while there, and it didn't matter if they necessarily fit so much with the personality of our team, and that always ended up being a big issue. So, I would say just having the personality of your business, especially if it's a smaller business, just trying to figure out what that personality is and make sure you're bringing in the right people that match that personality, or else you're going to have headbutting and some other issues down the road.
So hiring the wrong people that then messed up your kind of culture and
yeah, but I think knowing what the personality is of that, if it's a small business, like knowing what that is and make sure, okay, does this person match that personality that, is going to, essentially provide the, the type of service that you want to provide and the type of people that you want to work with. Do they match that?
Okay. So how do you go about now trying to determine if they fit with you?
It's definitely an interview process. We're fortunate where, our real estate sales team, most of the people have been with us for years and years, and we haven't really necessarily gone out to proactively try to recruit new people onto our team. It's more so someone comes up to us and asks us if they can join the team, or they're referred to us by one of our contacts in real estate saying, hey, they'd be a really good match for you guys. You should interview with them. So we're at the point now, because our systems are really good, that we'll probably bring on about 3 more people this year. And then we'll leverage we're with Keller Williams Market Center. So we have a really good relationship with the owner there and their team leader, who's a recruiter. So, we'll use our relationship with him, he knows how we operate. And then he'll say, okay, I think XYZ are good people for you to interview with.
Okay. Speaking of that, you mentioned some goals, having clarity in your goals is critical, right? So like long-term, what are your top 2 goals that you're really trying to do? Like what's the vision that you're driving towards in between all your businesses?
Between all business, it's to just really have a strong foothold on this area that I live here, my house is here, my businesses are here, and I want to own real estate here, right? So the more that I can establish myself doing that, and then, being a figurehead for the business, not necessarily being involved in the day-to-day nitty-gritty of everything, but obviously
it's market share of Conshohocken, your niche.
Yeah, like, and not necessarily just in real estate sales, but obviously that's the number one driver of my income. But also, again, owning properties, being just established as a small business owner who does a lot within the community.
Okay.
We don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Yep. Yeah, I lived in Conshohocken for 7 years. So. Yep, I lived behind like Ridge and Butler, like behind the Giant neighborhood back there, almost Plymouth Meeting. But yeah, we loved going downtown, all those restaurants, and obviously now it's blowing up even more than we left a couple years ago. But it's a great neighborhood.
Yeah, we love it.
How do you measure that, or how do you make yourself more prevalent in the market? Any local things? You said sponsoring maybe some events. Anything else you can do to say, hey, I want to own this pocket? Being proactive to get your name out there.
Yeah, I think, actions speak pretty loud. So, by us, we just did a charity fundraiser for the Colonial Neighborhood Council, which is kind of think of like a little neighborhood Salvation Army almost. So people go there, drop off, they can pick up clothes there. Sometimes they pay for people's heating bills if they don't have it. Every day you can go ahead and pick up food. So we ran a charity event where we auctioned off all these great prizes, a weekend down the shore, 4 box seats to a Flyers game. But we were able to raise almost $10,000, locally for them through the charity event that we do. So doing stuff like that, being out there with the guys who own, the restaurants and their small businesses, like I try to support as much as possible. So there's a coffee shop across the street. There's a deli across the street. There's a restaurant. So you're always just going in there and making sure you're supporting them. And then, oftentimes the business gets reciprocated as well. Yep.
And being that local face and that name that everybody knows, you support the community. And that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. I think most people, they get so distraught because I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but it takes longer than that.
Yeah. Successful people have a commitment to daily habits and executing them on a regular basis. What kind of habits or rituals do you have that you contribute to your success?
Prior to kids, I was really good with some morning routines.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. One thing for me was always kind of waking up early and just getting moving, like doing some type of workout or getting that exercise in, and that would help. If I didn't do that, then it was something I always want to accomplish. At the end of the day, I'm not going to do. I'm just mentally spent. But it's every day. I would say a routine and habit that I have is, I'm working after I drop the kids off at school now, and I'm working right away. By 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And work could be completely different today than what it was, a couple of years ago. But I'm always proactively trying to work on myself and the business and try to grow it. And I think a big part of that is by, having some type of healthy routine around that will increase your chances of success with your business. So I bought a sauna for my house.
Okay. That was your gift. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the morning now where, maybe I didn't have the energy or time to really work out, at least I know I can go in there and I'm still getting a good sweat. It feels really good to do that. I'll stretch in there. So maybe I'm not getting that hardcore workout like I used to where I was lifting weights, but I'm doing something that gets the blood flowing. Okay.
So yeah, working out early, like you said, get the blood flowing, get moving. I think it helps your mind, just get everything going. But then you're right that it's challenging. You get kind of sucked into the whirlwind as soon as you get to work. Right. And so finding that time in the morning is key. But like you said, with kids, sometimes that makes it difficult. Do you have any advice on how to maybe make time later in the day that you can section off? Or
yeah, well, I think it's real important, as you get a little bit older, you got to listen to your body. So there's, stages of my life now where it's I just need more sleep than I did before. So you have to be okay with listening to your body and getting more sleep where maybe you can't get that workout in because you really need that extra sleep. So, as you get older, your body's changing. It's just, you're trying to constantly figure that out. So I think it's just not being hard on yourself. And then if you don't get that workout in on that day you're supposed to, you make it up on another day.
Okay, great. You mentioned having your team and looking to hire people and some of the processes. Do you guys use remote staff at all? Or how do you leverage your time?
Does remote staff hire virtual assistants?
Yeah, virtual assistants or is it all in person?
We have a virtual assistant through my Outdesk, which is Dan Ramsey.
Yep.
Go Bundins. We have that for the real estate sales team. We just hired a virtual assistant through another company for the property management. And then our staff consists of a closing manager, listing manager, me and Mike share an executive assistant. And property management has the property manager and the leasing agent.
Okay. How long ago did you hire your first virtual assistant?
Let's say Christina's been with us for at least 2 years at this point.
Okay. And that was through my Outdesk?
That was through my Outdesk.
Okay.
The other one we literally just hired last week.
So so any recommendations of how to that first hire, what tasks to give them, how to get them trained, how to manage them? Because I think for a lot of people, it's a pretty big step and they're so used to having someone in person. But nowadays it's so easy to hire virtual assistants. Any kind of tips and challenges there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a lot of people expect when they make a hire that person's going to know exactly what to do. You have to spend the time with you or someone in your organization, spending time with them to physically show them and have a list and have some type of orientation schedule where these are the systems that we use. Learn these systems. When you learn these systems, this is the game plan of what we want to accomplish. And obviously it's different for every company. So I'll just say for ours, it was kind of learn Appfolio for the property management. Once you learn this system, then we're going to want to do, once you start doing, social media posts and Craigslist stuff, and then we're going to want you to be able to learn how to help us with contract stuff if needed. So we kind of laid it all out. Our property manager's working with her, 3 days a week, a couple hours a day, so that the onboarding is where it needs to be.
Okay. And then how many do you have now? I lost two or three virtual assistants?
2 virtual assistants.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we did the same thing because we hired one from my Outdesk as well, which for those who don't know, they are a full-time virtual assistant staffing company. Their goal is to hire, help you find a person who will be a full-time person inserted basically into your company, as opposed to some of the other ones, maybe like Upwork, which is kind of more of a on-demand Uber sense versus they're placing a full-time employee. Thus, your person has been with you for 2 years. Mine's been over a year now, and is great. So myoutdesk.com, definitely check them out. The other thing you said, which we did the same as well, which is you start them with a couple simple tasks, right? But then over time, what's impressive is usually their skill set is a lot more than what you think it is. And then you just start giving them more and more things and they're able to do it. And for, half the cost or less than maybe an in-person, admin.
Yeah. And I think, the cost is very affordable, but it's also someone that's in the Philippines, they see it as a very good opportunity. It is really good money for them, and they see it as a really good opportunity. And they really want to take advantage of it. So, almost you get this natural, like you kind of feel bad paying someone X amount of money over here to do something. But as you get to really build a relationship with them and they're working with you, like they're so grateful for the opportunity. So it's,
Yep.
The girl who's our VA is very close to everyone on our team. And, we do Zooms with them, with her all the time, with the team, with our team meetings. And she's another part of the team.
Yep. Does she work your hour, like Eastern hours, or does she work her hours?
Yep. She works our hours.
Yep. Yeah. It's another thing Mod can help find is someone who's willing to work Eastern time. So they work like same for us, 8 to 5 Eastern. Otherwise, Philippines is 12 hours. So it'd be 8 to 5, like they're like middle of the night for them. So, but it's a good job. It pays well. Mod pays benefits as well. So they are appreciative to have the job and they really want it.
Yeah. I mean, our girl, her daughter, something happened to her daughter. She went to the hospital. She wasn't able to work a couple of days, and something happened where she couldn't even pay for the hospital bill. So, me and Mike offered. She didn't ask us to do it at all, but we offered to pay for the hospital bill, and she was, she's so grateful for it. So again, we wouldn't do that if we didn't have a good relationship with her. So, if you're thinking about, or if you're hesitant to use a virtual assistant, especially if you're trying to get that first hire and maybe you don't have the money to pay someone a $30,000 plus salary, it's a really good option. You just want to be committed to spending the time to onboard them. Very smart. They pick things up quickly. Yeah,
that's the key, is that training though, because if you don't give them enough training, then it's, they're not going to know what to do. They've never met you. They might not truly understand your business. It's all through a computer screen. But so the more time you invest with them, while in the beginning is a lot, that you have like, Dan calls it compound leverage, where basically that time then kind of compounds like an investment would, where now they're doing all these things and you have no involvement, and it's this kind of machine that's running. We now have 4 or 5 hired, and each of them have different roles. We have a QuickBooks person. We have a sales person who makes outbound calls. We've got a social media person, and now I have like a generic data entry person.
Oh, nice.
But then the goal too is we're hiring another like bookkeeper, and we're going to have our existing bookkeeper VA train the new one. So like we're going to have no involvement in the beginning. It's all going to be one VA training another. And I think that's really when you start to kind of build even more leverage in the process of it all. Any other best practices for training them to use videos or communication workflow management software?
Yeah, so I personally didn't do any of the training. We had our staff for the real estate sales team do the training, and they would do a Zoom, they would record it, and then she would take really good notes. And then for the property management we just hired, they're doing the same exact thing. So the property manager is sitting with her a couple times a day, Zooming, recording it. She'll go back and watch it, take notes, but picking everything up very quickly. Yep.
Yeah, and the great thing about recording them too, because then if a future, like that person leaves, you have somebody else, you can just refer to the Zoom videos. You don't actually have to do it again. So it helps save your time even more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's some people, again, like I said, the best is when you get to where that VA is a key person in your organization, and now they're doing the interviews for other VAs and they're training them and doing it. Like that's where the content really.
Yep. And that's how you leverage it and, help grow your business. And it's awesome. So what, any book recommendations you reading now or thought were good?
One book I always like to recommend, which I loved, was Relentless by Tim S. Grover.
Okay.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
Okay. Yeah.
Trainer. It's an awesome listen on Audible as well. So it's great. So he talks about, 3 types of like people's mentality that are athletes. He calls them closers, something else, and cleaners.
Okay.
But things like Jordan, Kobe, like they're cleaners. They come in, they clean up the mess. There's a different level where they can get to than anyone else can. But it is a great lesson. He's coming out with a new book next month.
Like the mindset of the athletes, is that kind of what it's about?
It's totally about the mindset and how they're just on a different level. No excuses.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people I think play, it's the victim card. They blame someone else, they blame the market, but those high performers, it's all on themselves and figure out what they could do to do better, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the majority of people I feel like you meet have that victim mentality, or they're martyrs, and it's just like,
sense of entitlement.
Right.
And,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, cool. So where can listeners connect and find more about you and your company?
Yep. So homeexpertsforyou.com is our real estate sales team. So you'll be able to, just hit the contact button on there and you'll be able to contact me. And then for property management, it's mpropertymgt.com.
Cool. Yeah. And we'll put all those in the show notes as well. So
yep. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks again for coming on and sharing your story.
No problem, Brian. Thanks for having me on. Good luck with your podcast. I'm sure you're going to do a great job and bring on some really good guests. I look forward to following along.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.